I'm about to tell you the 5 things you should never do on stage. But if you're new here, why should you listen to me? I've got the hairline of a broke roadie and the accent of a bloke who's fought off a magpie with a bike helmet. Well, for over 20 years, I've made my living playing music. No record deal, no viral hit, just packed pubs, smiling crowds and steady gigs. I'm still out there 5 nights a week with thousands of gigs behind me. This is the working musician's playbook. Real world strategies from someone living it right now. Subscribe now and turn your practice into paid gigs, no matter your age. Learn the real game from someone who's on stage, not just online. Alright, if you've played more than a handful of gigs, you've probably done at least one of these things. I know I have. I've played thousands of shows over the years and still do, from packed pubs to empty rooms where the only person listening was the guy cleaning the beer taps. Today, I'm going to save you from a few common mistakes solo musicians make on stage, or any musician. These are the things that make the difference between getting another booking or the venue manager mysteriously losing your number. Let's dive into these 5 things you should never do on stage. One bonus tip at the end, which is guaranteed to leave a good impression, even on a rough night. Tip 1, don't apologise for mistakes. Let's kick this off with the golden rule of live music. Don't apologise for mistakes. Seriously, don't. Now, here's the thing. I know what it feels like in that moment. You hit a wrong chord, miss a lyric, and suddenly you're under a microscope. Every eye in the room locked onto you. Somebody's probably texting their mate right now. This guy's butchering it. The bloke at table 5 is shaking his head. But here's the real truth. It's all in your head. The crowd, half of them don't even clock it. The other half, they don't know the song well enough to even care. But the second you draw attention to it, now they know something's gone sideways. That's why you don't apologise. Smile, move on, pretend it was part of the plan and let the moment pass like nothing happened. Look, I've skipped whole verses, stared dead ahead. People still clap like I cured hiccups. Confidence is the trick, but the moment you stop and confess, the crowd turns into witnesses at a crime scene. Just smile, move on. Quick breather. If you're enjoying this and want more tips from someone who's still out there battling deep fryers and footy finals, hit the like and subscribe. Tip 2, don't complain about the venue or crowd. All right, this one's simple. Never complain about the venue or the crowd or the setup while you're on stage. No matter how rough it is, and trust me, it can get rough. Even if the PA was clearly put together mid-shift by someone who just lost a game of darts, grin and carry on. And you never, ever upset the sound guy. He's got more knobs than a TV reality reunion and he's not afraid to use them. And then you're singing into a shoe. Look, I've played gigs wedged between a pool table and a doorway. I've played to 5 people in a fruit machine that was louder than me. And sure, sometimes the sound is shocking. The lighting's non-existent and the guy in the corner is yelling footy scores halfway through your best tune. But here's the thing. The crowds didn't come to hear about your problems. The fix? So here's what you do. Control your attitude. Play for the ones who are listening, even if it's just the bartender. Stay professional no matter how rough it feels, because the venue remembers who handled it well, and that's who they call back. I've had nights where the only applause comes from the pokies lighting up. I could have stopped the show, complained, made it awkward, but instead I smiled, cracked the joke and carried on. Later, one of those 5 punters booked me for their wedding. That's the long game. Tip 3, don't overtalk between songs. Pub gig edition. Talking between songs? Yeah, you need a little bit of it. It connects you to the crowd. It gives the night some flow. But here's the deal, don't overdo it. This isn't an evening with Elton John. It's a pub gig. The crowd's here for tunes, not life advice. You know the type, finishes a song, grabs the mic, and suddenly we're 10 minutes deep into a story about the first time he heard Sweet Caroline, and by the time they hit the chorus, half the crowd's queued for a pint. Short and sharp, that's the game. I've been guilty of it. Get too comfortable, throw out a story that felt funny in my head, and somewhere in between verse 3 of the story and the punchline, I've lost the room. So here's some practical guidance. Crack a quick joke, read the room, roll into the next song. Keep the energy moving. You don't want the night feeling like stop-start traffic. Smooth it out. Feel the flow. If they're vibing, toss in a quick line. If they're chatty, just keep it rolling. Play the hits, let the music do the talking. Tip 4, don't ignore body language. You could be hitting every note, every chord perfectly, but if you look like you're waiting for your shift to end, no one's connecting with you. I've seen it. I've done it. Feet bolted to the floor, shoulders hunched, eyes somewhere around your shoelaces, gripping the mic stand like it's the last chopper out of Saigon. Here's the thing. You don't need to dance. You don't need to leap around the stage, but do something. Shift your weight, nod along, make eye contact with someone once in a while and look like you're enjoying it. Now, if you're a seated performer like I am, that's a different beast, right? You're locked into that position, but don't let the chair do all the work. What not to do? Sit slumped like you've given up halfway through your set. You're staring at your fretboard like it's a tax return. You know? No good. But what to do? Sit tall, lean into the groove, nod along, tap your foot, use your face and shoulders and carry the vibe. Make eye contact with people, even from the chair. Just because you're seated doesn't mean you're nailed to the spot. You're seated, not sedated. Remember that. Move something, engage, show them you're into it. Even if it's just a head bob and a half smile, you know. Keep the groove visible. A foot tap, even a raised eyebrow. Don't leave the energy in your guitar. Lift it up to your face. If you don't show it's fun, no one thinks it is. You don't have to be flashy. Just don't look like you're enduring it. Right? You know, I've done that. What are you going to do? Can't be perfect all the time. Look, I get it. You're mid-chorus. The room's starting to lean in. And then the meat tray raffle kicks off. Number 42, 42. Crowd goes wild. Your big finish, overshadowed by bloody lamb chops. Or you're set up right next to the toilets. Pool cues swinging around your head. Your stage, a gap in the carpet where the bloody jukebox used to be. But just got to smile. You power on through because nothing says rock and roll like dodging toilet traffic mid-solo. But at this grassroots level of gigging, this is just part of the deal. You will do gigs like this. It's not a possibility, it's a certainty, and probably more than a few. But you'll get the good ones too. The gigs where you walk out feeling like you've actually done something great, where you connected and nailed it and maybe even walked away thinking, yeah, this is what I do, you know? Nobody loves 100% of their job. Most people are lucky if they like 20% of it. So when you're mid-song holding a smile while someone's phone lights up the back wall brighter than the stage lights, just keep playing. Remember, you're still getting paid. You're still playing music, and that soul-crushing feeling, it'll melt away come Monday morning. When you roll over, check the time, you realise you can sleep in. While everyone else is stuck in traffic, you're busy catching up on sleep and your will to live. Tip 5, don't spend the night reading your lyrics. All right, this is a big one. Don't spend your whole night glued to your lyric screen. Yeah, it's there for emergencies. I get it. I actually rely on my tablet a lot. I have hundreds of songs in my rep, and sometimes I do one for something different, or I get a request for something I haven't done in months or even years. So you do need to lean on it for chords and lyrics so you don't stuff it up, but you do your best to glance rather than read. But the following is kind of referred to your go-to rep that you know is polished and ready to go. Look, having a cheat sheet is fine. A quick glance now and then, sure, but if you're spending the whole night face down on the screen like you're trying to hack the Pentagon, you're going to lose the crowd. You're going to miss the vibe, the real gig, the connection. The crowd came to see you, not your screen time. The fix? It's simple. Learn the songs. You don't need to learn 100 songs word for word. I get it, so many lyrics and arrangements to remember, but learn it enough so it takes 1, 2, 3 quick glances per song, you know, just to refresh what's coming up. Use the screen for prompts, not clutches. If you need the safety net, glance, don't clamp there. Because if you're not looking at the crowd, they're not looking at you. So once you've got those lyrics locked in and just sneaking the odd peek, that's when you can actually look up, engage the room, and give off the kind of energy that makes people feel like they're part of a good show. All right, bonus tip. Always say thank you. Doesn't matter how brutal the gig felt. Whether the crowd was into it or into their phones or whether the cocktail blender drowned you out, always thank them. Thank the crowd. Thank the staff. Thank the venue. Trust me, the staff will remember who left with a smile and who left in a mood. The bartender's got more influence on your future bookings than you think. especially if he's mates with the manager. It costs nothing to be gracious and it sticks longer than your set list. That's it. 5 things you should never do on stage as a soloist. We've all done at least one of them. Some of us are going to do it tonight. Probably me. If you've got your own horror stories or tips, drop them in the comments. I know I'm not the only one who's been drowned out by a fruit machine jackpot. And hey, if you're still out there grinning through it, remember, you're better than you think. If you can get through those gigs, it's more mental toughness to get through the next ones. If this saved you from an awkward gig or at least gave you a laugh, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. I'll be here, still gigging, still dodging footy scores and chicken palmies. You don't have to subscribe, but I'll be booking gigs while you think about it. See you in the next one.